Hello my dear students, how are you? Welcome to the chemistry virtual class. Already you have started chapter 5, chemical bond, and you learned what is chemical bond, types of chemical bond and formation of different types of bond also you have learned. Today I want to teach you some of the new topics, and at first I am going to start molecular formula. I think all of you know what is molecular formula. The formula by which the symbol and the real number of atoms present in a molecule can be known or can be expressed is called molecular formula. Suppose water H2O. By seeing this formula at a glance we can understand that in case of water molecule there is one atom of oxygen and two atoms of hydrogen. That means molecular formula of water is H2O. Then HCl. By seeing this we can understand here is one atom of hydrogen and one atom of chlorine. What's the name of this compound? Hydrochloric acid. So that the molecular formula of hydrochloric acid is HCl and the molecular formula of water is H2O. Clear? Okay. Now come to the structural formula. The formula through which the arrangement of the atoms of elements in a molecule can be expressed by using symbol and bond is called structural formula. Suppose you know that molecular formula of water is H2O, and the structural formula will be like this. This is the structural formula of water. In this case, in case of water, two oxygen hydrogen bonds is present in case of one molecule of water. Then come to the structural formula of ethane. Suppose the molecular formula of ethane is C2H6. So structural formula how will you write? At first you have to make the carbon chain like this. Two carbons will be attached with each other, and each carbon will hold three hydrogen atoms like this way. This is the structural formula of ethane. What's the name? Ethane. Then come to the structural formula of propane. What's the molecular formula of propane? Can you say? The molecular formula of propane is C3H8. So, structural formula, how will you write? At first, you will make the carbon chain like this way, and each carbon atoms will hold hydrogen atom like this way. Here is 3 carbon atoms and 8 hydrogen atoms. And what is the name of this compound? Propane. This is the system of writing structural formula. Is this clear? Dear learners, now come to the octet rule and duet rule. You know that all the elements of the periodic table have a tendency to get the configuration of nearest inert gas, and from this tendency atom of the elements either release or receive electrons or share electrons to gain 8 electrons at the outermost shell of the atom. Again I am saying, all the elements of the periodic table have a tendency to get the structure of nearest inert gas. That means they want to gain 8 electrons at the outermost shell of the atom, and from this tendency either they release electron or receive electron or share electrons. To only view is that to gain 8 electrons at the outermost shell of the atom. Suppose in case of methane, see, this rule is known as octet rule. This rule is known as octet rule. See, at the methane molecule, the central atom is carbon. At the outermost shell of carbon, there is 4 electrons, but it is trying to get the structure of nearest inert gas. From this tendency, it will combine with hydrogen. One carbon atom will combine with 4 hydrogen atoms. Each carbon atom will share 1 electron, 1 electron, 1 electron, 1 electron, and each hydrogen atoms will share another electron. As a result of this, 4 carbon-hydrogen bond will be formed in between carbon and hydrogen. Like this way. Carbon will hold 4 hydrogen atoms by its 4 hands. It is called octet rule. That means tendency of gaining 8 electrons at the outermost shell for getting the electronic configuration of nearest inert gas is called octet rule. Clear? Okay. Now come to the duet rule. Duet means what? Duet means 2. So what is duet rule? One pair or more than one pair electrons exist at the outermost shell of any atom. That means electrons exist as paired form. This is called duet rule. Suppose lithium, atomic number of lithium is 3. What is the electron configuration? 1s2, 2s1. Lithium releases 1 electron and can be converted into lithium plus ion. So that how many electrons are there in lithium ions? In lithium ion there is 2 electrons. So that it is following duet rule. Is this clear? Then come to the formation of beryllium chloride. What is the See the electronic configuration of beryllium. 1s2, 2s2, and chlorine 17. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. That means at the outermost shell of beryllium there is 2 electrons, and at the outermost shell of chlorine there is 7 electrons. So that beryllium and chlorine can be bonded with each other. How? Suppose beryllium, here is beryllium. By the cross sign I am showing the electron of beryllium. Beryllium has 2 electrons at the outermost shell. So beryllium sharing these 2 electrons with 2 chlorine atoms. See, beryllium is sharing 1 electron, chlorine is sharing 1 of its unpaired electron. Beryllium is sharing 1 electron, chlorine is 1 unpaired electron. By this way, a bond is created in between beryllium and chloride. Beryllium and chlorine. This is the shape of beryllium chloride. And what are you finding over here? Electrons are existing as paired form. That means one pair or more than one pair electrons are present at the outermost shell of any atom during formation of any molecule. That means beryllium chloride is following octet rule. Is this clear? Dear learners, now come to the inert gas. You know what is inert gas. At the periodic table, the elements which are existing in group 18 or group 0, whatever is group 18 is known as also group 0, you know that, are called inert gas. Why these are called inert gas? Because all of their outermost shell is fulfilled. As they are fulfilled by electrons, that's why they don't share, they don't donate, or they don't accept any electron from any other atom. That's why they are called inert gas. See the inert gases: helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, orgason. So here is, in case of every inert gases outermost shell there is 8 electrons. If 8 electrons are there, so that it can be fulfilled, except helium. Helium has only one energy level, first energy level, s orbital. S orbital's highest capacity is 2, so it is existing by fulfilling one s orbital. So helium has 2 electrons, except that all the elements outermost shell there are 8 electrons. See, in case of neon, outermost shell is 2 and there are 8 electrons. Outermost shell is 3 and there are 8 electrons. Outermost shell is 4 in case of krypton. Atomic number is 36 and total number of electron is 8. That means general configuration of inert gas is ns2 np6. That means whatever is the last energy level, it will be fulfilled by 8 electrons. Outermost shell of xenon, there are 8 electrons. Outermost shell of radon, there are radon's atomic number is 86 and its outermost shell is 6. 6s2 6p6, that means 8 electrons are there. At the last one also, the atomic number is 118 and the outermost shell is 7. 7s2 7p6, that means outermost configuration is this, and for getting 8 electrons, they are stable, they are the most stable. They don't need to share, they don't need to release, or they don't need to accept any electron from any other atom. That means they are independent. These are called noble gas also. Have you understood now what is the reason of stability of inert gases? This is the reason of having 8 electrons at the outermost shell. That means the fulfilled outermost shell. Clear, dear learners? You know that the charge of atoms are neutral. How it is neutral? You know, inside the nucleus there is a positively charged particle named proton, and outside of the nucleus there is electron. Electron is negatively charged. So the number of proton and electron are same, so that equal number of positively charged proton and equal number of negatively charged electron are becoming balanced by each other. As a result of this, the charge of the atom is becoming neutral. So atom is neutral, but it can be charged. Whenever atoms release or accept electrons, they can be charged. If any atom release electron, that time it can be positively charged. If any atom accept electron, that time it can be negatively charged. And these charged particles, whenever it is charged, that time it is no more atom. These are known as ion. The charged particles are known as ion. So that ion can be of how many types? 2 types. Number 1 is positive ion, number 2 is negative ion. Positively charged ions are called cation. Positively charged ions are called cation, and negatively charged ions are called anion. See, in case of cation, I am showing you. sodium is a metal and in its outermost shell there is one electron. So sodium is releasing one electron and converted into sodium ion. So sodium ion is a cation. After being converted into sodium ion, then what is the number of electron of sodium ion outermost shell? 10, because one electron has been released already. So after releasing one electron, the total remaining number of electrons of sodium is 10. Now come to the charge. How the charge of sodium ion form or formation of charge of sodium ion. In case of sodium, we know there are 11 protons. After formation of sodium ion also, proton number is same because there is no change in proton number. So that charge of 11 protons is equals to plus 11 and charge of 10 electrons is equals to minus 10. So total charge is becoming plus 10 plus 11 minus 10 is equals to plus 1. So that the charge of sodium ion is plus 1. It is the charge of cation. Is this clear, student? Okay. Now come to anion. What is anion? Whenever atom receive any electron or accept any electron, that time the atom becomes negatively charged particle. This negatively charged particle is known as anion. See, chlorine is a atom which is neutral. It doesn't have any charge. So whenever chlorine is receiving one electron, it is converted into chloride ion, negatively charged ion. Previously, whenever it was neutral atom, at the nucleus there were 17 proton and electron were also 17. But after converted into chloride ion, as one electron has been received by chlorine atom, so that number of electron is 18 of chloride ion. Clear? Anions, in case of anion, number of electrons is equals to 18. Now come to the formation of charge of chloride ion. Charge of 17 protons. Proton is same, don't forget, because there is no change in proton number. Charge of 17 protons is equals to plus 17 and charge of 18 electrons is equals to minus 18. Therefore, total charge is equals to minus 1. So, the charge of chloride ion is minus 1. Is this clear to you? Now, one question, one point I am saying you, basically metallic atoms can form cation. Metallic atoms can form cation. Sodium is also a metal. Why? What is the reason? Can you say why metallic atoms form cation? Because metals always release electron. They never receive electron. They never accept electron. That's why metals form cation. And now you can ask me about anion. Who forms anion? Basically, non-metals form anion. Why? Because non-metals receive electron. Suppose chlorine. Chlorine is a non-metal and it is receiving electron. By receiving electron, it is converted into anion. So, what I am saying? Basically, metals form cation and non-metals form anion. And reason is for what? Metals donate electron and non-metals receive electron. It is the reason of metals of forming cation and non-metals of forming anions. So dear students, whatever I taught today, is this clear to you? If you have any question, so you can talk to your subject teacher. Today up to this, see you at the next class. Thank you.